it's Jack again. This video will show content on how to make crosscut jig for circular saw. Circular saws are incredibly useful tools and are an essential item in any professional woodworker's toolkit, as well as in any home DIY workshop. Circular saws are great for making a range of straight cuts, but it's not always easy to cut with perfect precision, even with years of experience, and this is where a jig comes in. With a jig, you can increase your cutting accuracy, ensuring you cut the same line time after time. And the best thing is, you don't even need to spend much time or money because most of them are incredibly easy to make. When we buy a circular saw, it generally doesn't include a fence. A fence or cutting guide helps the saw make accurate cuts. This typically means we need to use the saw freehand. All we have to do is line up the blade on our cut line and place the speed square on the board. Then we push the base plate of the saw against the square and make the cut. A speed square works great as long as the cut we need to make is shorter than the length of the speed square. But what if the cut we need to make is longer than the square? That's where the DIY circular saw guide comes in. What is a crosscut jig? A crosscut jig helps us make precise crosscuts and miter cuts. It acts like a fence or cutting guide for our circular saw. The base plate of the saw rides against the fence of the jig. The fence forces the saw to make cuts exactly where we want them. When we buy a circular saw, it generally doesn't include a fence. A fence or cutting guide helps the saw make accurate cuts. This typically means we need to use the saw freehand. All we have to do is line up the blade on our cut line and place the speed square on the board. Then we push the base plate of the saw against the square and make the cut. The speed square works great as long as the cut we need to make is shorter than the length of the speed square. But what if the cut we need to make is longer than the square? That's where the DIY circular saw guide comes in. What should you do when a piece of wood is too wide to cut with your miter saw? Make this simple DIY circular saw guide. It works great for both crosscuts and miter cuts. Circular saws are indispensable tools, but where they fall down is in making perfectly straight cuts. Even the most experienced operator might not always be able to cut a truly straight line, and for beginners, it can be next to impossible. To help with this problem and to ensure you can make the straightest of cuts time after time, a simple crosscut jig is the answer. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button.